by virtue of being elected to that position. For the first time, it was an inaugural vote of a special panel. And that was instituted, of course, by the International Tennis Federation, who's won 6 tournaments this year and hasn't played on grass in a tournament since last year's Wimbledon final. Martina Navratilova, the reigning Wimbledon champion, and the winner here of the Colgate International last year.
Are you ready,
22
ladies,
years
please?
old, originally from Prague, but decided that she would just prefer to live in America in 1975. Spent her time in California and now lives
Miss
in
Navratilova
Dallas.
to serve.
So this final, worth £10,000 to the winner and half as much to the runner-up, about to commence with Navratilova to serve.
Play.
Navratilova to serve. Chris Evert here,
Love 15.
who lost a very close final last year to Navratilova despite having match point. Martina Navratilova, 22, originally from Prague, now living in Dallas.
Love 30.
She'll be looking for length to keep Martina Navratilova at the back of the court.
Love
Absolutely
40.
pinned to the baseline by the depth of that return.
Always been 40.
Always been a great natural volleyer, Martina.
Thirty, 40.
Still break point.
Let. Second service. Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Mrs. Evert Lloyd leads by 1 game to love.
So Chris Evert Lloyd, already a break of serve. She'll be delighted about that. Somebody equally delighted about that will be her husband John, sitting there talking just to Edie Ann McGoldrick. Sitting with them is little Tracy Austin, who unfortunately, because of a groin strain, had to default yesterday in the semi-final stage to Martina Navratilova, sitting there with her mother. And an absolutely star-studded gallery here. There's Virginia Wade, who was a semi-final loser yesterday to Chris Evert Lloyd. 6-3, 6-2 that was. And we all thought that Chris Evert Lloyd was running into the sort of form
Mrs.
that
Evert
she
Lloyd
had
to
predicted she would if she had the opportunity to spend a solid week of match play on grass. She hadn't done since last Wimbledon. So with a break, 1 love. telltale puff of chalk.
Love 15.
Marvellous cross-court forehand.
Love 30.
Well, that was tit for tat, all right. Exactly what Chris Evert Lloyd had done to her in the opening game.
Love 40. Game to Miss Navratilova. Games are 1-all.
And that's how evenly matched these two girls, who are, of course, the two best players in the world just now. Perfect answer to having lost your opening serve, breaking back to love.
Love. All.
Because the matches between these two are always the classic confrontation between the serving volleyer and the baseline artist. When she's serving as well and as deeply as that, it makes the volley look relatively easy.
.30.
And of course you can never pick that shot. Hit with two hands, it's such good disguise. So the break point saved, back at deuce.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
Well, there was a lot of chalk, of course, but it hit the sideline beyond the service line.
Deuce.
And you can't serve that short to Chris Evert Lloyd and get away with it.
Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
It's the first error she's made when approaching the net. Not a foot beyond the baseline, but it has to be deep, of course, if she's going to win the point.
First service. Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Mrs. Evert Lloyd leads by 2-1, first set.
So every game against the serve, and it all being thoroughly enjoyed by this capacity crowd here at a reshaped Devonshire Park. There's 700 extra seats this year as a result of removing part of the turf. It used to be a 2-court arena. They've reduced it to 1 to make room for courtside seats. A splendid idea because it's made it a really compact arena now. It was always a good place to watch tennis, but now it is superb. And not an empty seat. More than 4,000 people here this afternoon, continuing their enjoyment that they've had all week. And Anne Jones, you will remember that final here last year that these two played in that awful wind. They'll be relieved that it's so beautifully calm today.
Yes, John, it was such a great match last year, such a tight, close affair that I'm sure Martina Navratilova in particular will be looking for a long match here today, because she hasn't had a lot of play since completing the Avon Championships early in April, and she's only played once in Japan since then, and she really does need the match practice.
Nobody yet has broken through their own serve. We'll see if Chris Evert Lloyd can do that. She's 2-1.
Love 15. Fifteen all.
Oh, what touch.
15-30.
Tends to think of Navratilova as somebody who hits hard all the time, but as we saw there, she has great delicacy of touch as well.
All. $30-40. Game to Miss Navratilova. Two games all.
So, consistency at least. Nobody's won a serve yet, largely because the ground strokes of both girls have been absolutely superb. I think that will probably be corrected.
15 love.
Yes. There's quite definitely a large puff of white chalk indicating that the ball had clipped the centre service line. And the first ace.
Out.
30 love.
Out.
30-15.
Find that difficult to believe.
Both players agree that it was a good ball. The score is 40-15.
George Armstrong, the umpire, very sensibly overruling that.
Would you please not shout out during the match, please?
Overruling that call because quite clearly both girls realised it had been an ace. Martina's second, and it's put her at 40-15.
Game to Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 3-2. First set.
So at last, one of the girls has held serve and has gone.
I don't know where he is. Just tell him to shut up. This is obnoxious.
Martina Navratilova there, suggesting, I think, that the linesman may have had something rather more than he should have done out of a glass at lunchtime. And here comes the referee, B. Seal, just to consult with George Armstrong. Very popular figure, B. Seal, referee last week at Chichester, and again here. Does many tournaments in Britain. Anne Jones, how much bearing do you think this final will have on a possible meeting of these two again in the Wimbledon final next week?
I think personally, John, that it has a very big bearing. The one who wins, obviously, it's great for her, but the one who loses tends to rationalise it to themselves that it doesn't matter.
Out.
15 love. Yeah. 15 all. 30-15.
Has always been one of her greatest weapons, that drop shot. And it's so useful in women's tennis, who tend to move about the court just a little bit slower than the men.
Set. First service. (40-15).
Just clipped the edge of the line.
(40-30). Deuce.
So well disguised, that running forehand pass there. Could equally have well gone across the court. Same action. Deuce.
Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
Oh! Well, what an adventurous rally.
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. 3 games all.
That's just how close this match is. The height of the net making the difference between them. 3-all.
Love. (15-all).
Probably a sign of lack of match play, that one. Snatched at it.
(30-15). 40-15.
Such an important one to win psychologically, that. (40-15).
Game to Miss Navratilova. New ball to
Got her a cheap point.
Miss Navratilova leads by 4-3 in the first set.
It's a curiosity of this Eastbourne tournament that when Chris Evert won here in 1964 and 66, she went on to win Wimbledon. And last year, when Navratilova won, she went on to win Wimbledon. Do you think this will have any bearing this time on the Wimbledon, on a possible Wimbledon final, Anne Jones?
Yes, I do, John. I think that for the winner, it gives them a tremendous boost to their confidence. They like the grass, they get to enjoy the surface, and it's so nice to have a big championship behind you, especially as all the great players use Eastbourne to train for Wimbledon and do in fact enter the event. So if you win the event, you feel that you are in control of the girl players at that particular point. But too, looking at it from the loser's point of view of this particular match, when it comes to Wimbledon, they obviously rationalise the fact that they lost this one, but it doesn't matter, it's still 2 weeks to Wimbledon, and they're just using it as experience, I think.
It's curious that earlier in the week somebody asked Chris Evert Lloyd, as she is now of course, whether it made a difference to her last year. She felt that it hadn't made much difference to her losing in that final, though I think she may have been doing what you were just saying, rationalising it to herself. Well, it couldn't be closer. There have been 4 breaks of serve. All 4 games at the beginning of the match went against the serve. Now there have been 3 held to put Chris Evert 3-4.
Love 15. (15-all).
Would have been a good idea, but it was a very ambitious shot to try. Oh.
15-30.
Well, the serve was short enough for her to make a really attacking reply. Chris Evert Lloyd must serve deeper than that.
Oh. 30-all.
That two-hander is so deadly of anything short.
40-30.
She's not serving as well as she did yesterday, though. She's missed with 8 first serves already today, and yesterday against Wade she missed only 4 all the match.
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Four games all. Love 15.
Been playing for just over half an hour now. Couldn't be closer.
Let. Second service.
Yeah.
15 all.
It's a marvellous volley off a low return because she got so close to the net behind her serve.
Thirty 15. Thirty all.
No, just out.
30 40.
Well, apart from that finishing volley, it was an absolutely perfect rally. A serve that hit the line, a return that would have hit the line had Martina missed it, and the volley that just failed to go in. Break point.
Deuce. Advantage, Miss Navratilova. Game to Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 5 games to 4 in the first set.
I'd like to pick up a thing you just said there, John, about Chris Evert's first service. She said yesterday after her victory over Virginia Wade that it makes so much difference to her, to Chris, when she's serving well, as indeed it does to most tennis players. She gets so much more confidence. When she's serving well, then the rest of her game seems to fall into place. And in particular for Chris, when she's playing players like Virginia Wade and Martina Navratilova as today, she's playing an excellent serve and volley type player. And of course, if she fails to get her first service into the court nice and deep, and she serves then that second much slower serve, then she's opening up the court for her opponent. She therefore has to concentrate so hard on getting that first service in, and of course it does add a lot of pressure to that particular stroke. But Chris Evert is very much more relaxed these days. She's enjoying her tennis very much more, and I think that she's very, very keen indeed to win Wimbledon this year, in particular now that she's married to John Lloyd, as you see there. Being an Englishman, she's really keen to do well.
So she has to hold on here if she's going to stay in this first set. 4-5 she is.
Fifteen love.
Out.
15 all.
Caught in two minds there. Started out as a drive, and I think she changed it to a lob. And it was neither. 15 all.
30-15. All.
Absolutely killing shot on grass, particularly before it's become really firm and hard. The ball dies off a drop volley like that. 30 all.
Yep.
40-30. Game to Mrs. Evert, Lloyd. Five games all. Are you all right, Miss Navratilova?
Yes, that was merely a stumble. She just lost her footing temporarily. There was nothing serious about that. So 5 all.
Love.
Now that is the sort of shot, when Evert Lloyd is playing well, that she makes all the time. The running forehand pass down the line.
Love.
There it was.
30-15.
Not that she had to run that time, but she would have nearly hit the line if the ball had been allowed to drop. That's it.
All.
That's too good.
30-40.
Well, that was a superb pass. Of course, she does like a target, and she had one there. Break point.
Deuce.
So well read there by Martina.
Advantage Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
So for the second time, break point.
Use.
Such a good swinging delivery, that. Ooh.
Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
Very dangerous to go wide like that.
Game to
Well,
Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
she should have killed it, and she knows it.
Mrs. Evert Lloyd leads by 6 games to 5 in the first set.
Well, I think Anne Jones, Martina, really there, the victim of her own mistakes.
Yes, very definitely, and we can see very dejected, very angry Martina. Very angry with herself that she didn't put that short ball away, and she got the reply she deserved, which was a lob from Chris right onto the baseline, which she couldn't then control. Martina is a very emotional person, and she certainly feels that, and these things can tend to get on top of her just a little bit. But she controls her emotions far better now than she used to, and I'm sure she'll sit there peacefully for a few minutes and regain her composure. It was noticeable to me, anyway, perhaps being a left-hander, that on those 3 times she was breakpoint down, she serves that wide swinging shot, wide to Chris's two-handed backhand, and comes in and tries to dominate the net position. It's a very typical left-handed ploy, and very useful because it's on the points where you either win the service game, or when you're struggling to win it, you can pull that one out, and it very, very often works.
Well, the last time she served, Chris Evert had to hold serve to stay in the set. Now she has a chance to win it. She's 6-5.
Let. First service. Let. Second service. Fifteen, love. Would you please throw them all down? Thank you. Thirty, love.
Martina's temporarily just lost her touch. 30 love.
Love.
And that booming forehand error gives Chris Evert Lloyd 3 set points.
Game and first set. Game in first set to Mrs. Evert Lloyd is 7 games to 5.
In just
Ms. Navratilova
45
serve, second set.
in just 45 minutes of really exciting tennis. Second set, Navratilova.
Love 15. All.
Well, she'll have to pull her concentration together. She lost it when she lost her serve in the 11th game of the last set.
Yeah. 30-15. All. 30-40.
So a break point in this very first game of the second set.
Deuce. Let. First service. Advantage, Miss Navratilova. Game to Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 1 game to love in the second set. Mrs. Evert Lloyd leads by 1 set to love.
And that was a very important game for Martina to win. She really needed to re-establish herself in this match, because there's no doubt at all in my mind that she completely lost her concentration when she lost her service at 5 games all in the first set, and really presented Chris with the last game, which Chris ran out 7-5. So Martina needed to pull herself together, think hard about her service and vary it as she did from the forehand to the backhand of Chris to add a little more surprise and variety to it, and manage to come home with that first game. Looking back at the first set, Martina was really on top at the 3-all stage and 30-all, where they had that fantastically incredible long rally. Really was such a fantastic point, which Chris eventually managed to lose, and Martina was well on the way to victory, I felt, at that stage.
1 minute later.
Chris pulled herself together and became much more steady and more accurate, particularly with her down-the-line shots. And
Mrs. Evert Lloyd to serve.
Love won second set, having won the first 7-5.
15 love. Thirty love. Forty love. Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. One game all, second set.
Chris Evert Lloyd there, marvellously secure off the ground. Looking ominously confident.
Fifteen love. Let. First service. Fifteen all. 30-15.
Makes such a difference when the first serve is as good as that. Volley's so easy. And another.
Game to Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 2-1 in the second set. Mrs. Evert Lloyd leads by 1 set to love.
7-5. That took 45 minutes. Looking back to last year's final, when Navratilova won a desperately exciting match, 6-4, 4-6, 9-7 on a very windy day. I'm wondering, Anne Jones, if we're going to see a similar pattern. The girl who has got the ascendancy perhaps relaxing slightly and leading to a tense finish again.
Yes, I think that could indeed happen, John. Martina has relaxed, and it makes such a difference to the flow, particularly of the service action. She served that last game particularly well. Again, using the two angles, so wide to Chris's backhand in one court and wide to Chris's forehand in the other, and obtaining two comparatively easy volleys. I say comparatively easy because they're not always as easy as they look. It's very tempting to take your eye off the ball and look to see where your opponent's gone to, and then you can make a mistake, and that can cost you very dearly in the end, because if you make too many of that type of mistakes, then you lose your concentration.
No breaks of serve in the early stages of this second set. Chris Lloyd 1-2.
Love.
Well, no way she could reach that one. Absolutely perfect ground stroke into the corner.
15 all. $15.30. Let first service. $15.40.
Well, not a terribly difficult shot to make, but as Ann Jones has reminded us, they are sometimes more difficult than they look. 2 break points.
Game to Miss Navratilova. Change the ball, please. Miss Navratilova leads by 3 games to 1 in the second set.
Navratilova really relaxed now, playing beautiful all-court tennis, dragging her opponent all round the court, making a run, and with the advantage now of serving with the new balls. 3-1.
$15 love. $30 love.
Well, she's lifted her game by about 15 since that service loss in the 11th game of the first set.
$40 love.
Well, it has to be a super shot that's winning these rallies.
Game to Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 4 games to 1 in the second set.
Well,
Miss
we're
Evert Lloyd
seeing
leads 1 set to love.
We're seeing a completely rejuvenated Martina Navratilova now. Very, very confident, perhaps safe in the knowledge that already this year she holds 2 victories to 1 defeat against Chris Evert Lloyd.
When she's on song, sitting back here watching Martina in those last 3 or 4 games, it's impossible to stop a serve volley player when they're producing these very, very good shots. So wide, dragging her opponent off the court and coming into the net and clipping the volley, either back where her opponent was coming from or wide across the court. There's literally very little that Chris Lloyd can do with that type of tactic. I think Chris, if she could move a little more behind Martina's wine serve and try to keep the ball a little lower over the net, but it's very easy to sit in a commentary position and say that, and very, very much more difficult to do down there on the court.
Well, although it's 4-1 to Navratilova, it's only one service break.
Love.
They're having to work so hard to win these points.
Love.
A lot of physical effort going into this match. They've been on court for over an hour.
Love.
Oh, that was a beautifully blocked reply, taken very early, soon after the ball had bounced, and generated pace from timing. 40-15.
Out. 40-30. Deuce. Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
Well, she was 40 love at one stage, and then made two simple errors through frustration, I think, more than anything else. Now break point.
Deuce. Advantage, Mrs. Lloyd.
Well, it's probably two of the loosest shots we've seen from Martina this set, just when she engineered a break point.
Deuce.
Well, it is a little bit windy up there. Always in this seaside town, we are prone to wind.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
Well, she hasn't tried many drop shots because Martina Navratilova is so quick, of course, moving forward. Another break point. Yes,
Game
just
to Miss
missed.
Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 5 games to 1 in the second set.
So Martina now serving for this second set.
Love 15.
This court is playing so beautifully true and now quite fast after a few days of sun. A tribute to John Howe, the groundsman.
Out.
15 all.
Well, she was in exactly the right place.
30-15. Thirty all.
Well, that was because of the marvellous return.
30-40.
Martina could do nothing but give her an easy kill.
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Miss Navratilova leads by 5 games to 2 in the second set.
Well, that's one of the two
Mrs.
breaks.
Evert Lloyd leads by 1 set to love.
That's one of the two breaks of serve recovered. Can she do it again, Anne Jones?
Well, I think she can if she produces the quality of returns like of those last 3 shots there. She really did produce what I referred to before, the dipping ball to Martina's feet as Martina was coming in to volley behind her service. Martina doesn't always follow her serve into the net, and this can put the person returning the ball into sort of 2 minds, because if you play it short and the opponent stays back, then they have a nice easy chip and you're in a lot of trouble for the volleying position then. Or if she does come into the net, then and you're aiming deep as a returner, then the ball goes too high and the volleyer comes in and puts it away. So Martina varies her coming into the net behind her serve very well indeed. She comes in more, I think, when she's confident. If it's a tight point, then sometimes she stays back and gives Chris control of the rally. But at the moment, Martina is in control of the second set.
Well, 2-5.
Love.
She did so well there. The ball shot through, held a little by the wind, I think. Improvised so well.
All.
It's been noticeable how Chris Evert Lloyd is now moving very much quicker than she was at the start of the week. It was an aspect of her game she'd been working on, she told us. But she couldn't reach that volley. 15 all.
$30-15. 30 all.
Again, paying the penalty for serving short.
And
Navratilova could have come in on Evert Lloyd there earlier than she did.
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Miss Navratilova leads by 5 games to 3 in the second set.
And how suddenly things can change. 1 minute Chris Evert Lloyd right out of the set. Now she's recovered 1 break of serve. She's 3-5. Navratilova, I think, just
15 love.
Just relaxing a little bit, perhaps getting a little bit tentative in that last game.
All.
Well, I think these next few points may well decide the outcome of the entire match. Navratilova's really got to get a grip on her concentration again and close out this second set. 15-30.
Well,
there was a clue there in that very, very short second serve and the rather tentative volley. I think she's tightened up. Probably lack of match play responsible. Break point. That's it.
Miss Navratilova leads by 5 games to 4 in the second set.
That picture tells it all.
Leads by 1 set to love.
It's extraordinary how often one sees a match, apparently with a set 1 under the belt, 2 breaks of serve ahead, suddenly swing the other way. What does it feel like down there, Anne Jones?
Well, I think the short answer to that is terrible. I rather feel that at 5-1, you think that the set's in your pocket and you start to think about it's going to be 1 set all and how am I going to set about the third set, and that makes it very, very difficult when your opponent creeps up on you. Chris, of course, is such a steady opponent. She doesn't give anything away, and I noticed at 5-2 when she broke Martina's serve, she really felt she was still in with a chance in this set and picked up her own speed, very determinedly ran down everything she could get to. From Martina's point of view, again, I think that she speeded up rather a lot. She did get nervous, she is emotional. Going got a little tight, and instead of taking a few deep breaths and taking her time, she rather rushed the points and rushed herself out of few more points than she need have done.
But she's still behind. She must hold serve if she's going to draw level. Chris Evert Lloyd, 4-5. Martina noticeably trying to work herself back into the rallies.
All.
There was another of those short second serves that Navratilova climbed upon. Now that ball kept very low. She had to get right down low to it and didn't miss by much. 15-30.
All. 30-40.
Well, she looked altogether firmer in that rally. Set point.
Deuce.
Test of nerve for John Lloyd as well as his wife. Superbly steady in that rally, absolutely rock-like. Deuce.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
I think that deep sigh of anguish from Chris Evert Lloyd there said it all. Set point again. Oh, that is a classic shot.
Deuce.
I don't think anybody sitting here could believe that one. Least of all Martina Navratilova. It's deuce.
Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
Well, may she react like that. There was a chance to threaten again from the net. But there's a point at last for 5-all for Chris Evert Lloyd. That's
Game
it.
to Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
5-all.
Five games all in the second set.
Been a marvellously competitive set. 5-1 Navratilova led just a moment ago, and now it's 5-all.
Love. Love.
A lot of lines being hit just now. There's another.
40 love.
Well, twice she served for the set. Twice she was broken. Here now, 40 love.
$40-15.
Another line.
To Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 6 games to 5 in the second set. Mrs. Evert Lloyd leads by 1 set to love.
7 points, rather convincingly.
Love 15. Love 30. $15-30. $15-40. Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Miss Navratilova leads by 2-1 in the final set.
And it's quite extraordinary how just when you think that one girl has got control of her nerves and her concentration and is really flowing, she lapses again. It's been a match like that, a match of contrasts and a match of sudden swings of fortune. There were 4 breaks of serve at the very beginning of the first set, and then a break in the 11th by Evert Lloyd to give her that set 7-5 after 45 minutes. Then that epic second set in which Navratilova led 5-1 was caught at 5-all, broke again finally in the 12th game to win it 7-5 after 1 hour and 28 minutes. And now nicely poised, 2-1 to Navratilova, each having lost 1 serve in this final set. You're going to stick your neck out, Anne Jones, and tell me who's going to win?
No, I don't think so. It's, as you say, rightly, it's hanging in the balance. But tennis is extraordinary. Martina won the first 2 games of this set, almost coasting. And yet it's a sign of the pressure that Chris exerts on Martina the whole of the match. Martina starts to think about the accuracy of the returns. They're grinding away at her all the time. And she only has to let the power of her serve or the accuracy of it slip just a little bit, and Chris is back like a knife. This is a very important game for Chris to hold serve. 1-2 down in the final set.
Out. 15 love. All.
And that was really one of the finest backhands she's hit all afternoon. Hit over the ball. She's been mostly hitting with slice. So the pendulum beginning to swing back the other way again.
All.
4 marks for effort, but what a good volley.
30-40.
And yet again, we're seeing a break point.
Deuce. Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
Second break point.
Deuce. Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
Well, it isn't by much that she misses, but she's done that shot and missed it several times at costly moments today.
Deuce. Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
Well, it was just such a shot that took her to set point in the second set. But it went over then.
Deuce.
Both girls will be pleased that this has become a long match because they'll want a toughening up to complete the toughening up process before Wimbledon starts. Deuce.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 3-1 in the final set.
Well, despite holding 2 points to keep her serve, it was broken at the third attempt, third break point, in the longest game so far, 4 deuces.
Love. Love.
And she's making Chris Evert cover so much court down the other end.
$30-15. 30 all.
Well, that was a marvellous lob.
30-40.
She's so accurate even when she's being driven into a corner. Martina really annoyed with herself missing that one. Break point.
Deuce. Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
Anne Jones made the point a while ago. You give her half a chance and she rams the ball down your throat. Oh.
Deuce.
Well, we're seeing play of the very highest quality now.
Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Deuce.
Well, there was a chance. Martina really made quite a mess of that reply and gave Chris Evert Lloyd a chance on her third break point, but it's deuce.
Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
Well, Martina's reply to the baseline just short enough to give Evert Lloyd the angle and a fourth break point. And she's got it.
Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Miss Navratilova leads by 3-2 in the final set.
Well, we thought last year when these same two girls gave us an absolutely classic final on this same court on a very windy afternoon that we'd seen it all. That was Navratilova 6-4, 4-6, 9-7. But I think this time it's as good or better, Anne Jones.
When you sit away from the match and watch the two of them competing at 3-2 to Martina in the third set, it is impossible to pick a winner from this situation. I think Martina made a bit of a mistake in that last game. She was 3-1 up, 30-love up, and she played a very casual forehand and then tried a stop volley from too far back in the court. and a little stamp from the foot there. I'm sure she's very annoyed with that, because you only have to let up just that little bit and Chris is back in again, fighting hard with those relentless rallies. I'm sure too Martina must feel that she's hit a lot of backhands in this match. Chris has really worked that backhand of Martina's hard. When Chris has managed to get the rally going, she's plugged the backhand, and Martina has sliced them all. And Chris then opens up the wide angle to the forehand, zips usually a two-fisted cross-court backhand, and leaves Martina stretching really wide into her forehand. Chris sometimes pays a penalty from this too, because if she does happen to give Martina a short ball on her backhand, then Martina chips and comes into the net. That, I think, is the shot that Martina has been missing just a little bit too much in this match.
And the ball girl just running onto court with a fresh supply of tennis balls. It's been that long, this match. 7-5 to Lloyd, 7-5 to Navratilova, and now 2-3 Lloyd serving.
Love. All. Yeah. 15-30. All.
Martina just slipping slightly. We saw her slip over earlier in the match, and she was saying earlier in the week that she needed to change shoes, which I think she's now done, to prepare the grip better on the grass surface. 30 all. Oh, well, impossible to see from here. We're the
30-40.
Opposite end to that baseline, but there was certainly a puff of chalk, which sometimes happens. The dust can look like chalk, and the chalk itself can just brush a little bit beyond the line sometimes. Break point. That was such a good lob.
Yes?
Well, I'm sure she has every right to feel frustrated, because the shot that she gave Lloyd to lob was a marvellously dying ball, and yet Evert Lloyd found depth on that lob. Deuce.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
Well, it
Game
died on
to
her.
Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 4 games to 2 in the final set.
Well, another of those marvellously competitive rallies, ending unfortunately with a ball that skidded straight along the ground. Gave her no chance. 4-2.
Love 15.
Quite
Love
right.
30.
She's telling herself, wait for it. Tried to rush the shot. Too eager to get the point one. Four-2, love 30.
Love 40.
So 3 break points again for Chris Evert.
Fifteen 40.
Oh,
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Miss Navratilova leads by 4 games to 3 in the final set.
well, giving her opponent a surprised look there. What a return of serve that was. They've been clipping the lines, bringing up the chalk with almost monotonous regularity. It's been a superb game of tennis, and I can't think that we could ever expect to see even a better match than this in the Wimbledon final.
I think sometimes, John, that the Wimbledon final is a very extremely difficult match to play. Possibly we'll see a much better match here today than we would at Wimbledon because of the added tension in the final. Of course, John, they've got to get there. They're both working very hard out here today, but there's Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley sitting, possibly watching the television to see the outcome of this match, and she must be a contender for the title along with many others. Tracy Austin out there is watching, I'm sure, with very great interest.
Well, it seems to be a very friendly encounter this afternoon. George Armstrong there, having just had a chat with both girls. I think they were talking about some of the line calling. And I heard Chris Lloyd say, well, it's good practice for us anyway. Getting used to playing the decisions of the linesman. Important part of any player's learning. 3-4.
Love 15. Fifteen all.
been on court now for just over 2 hours, and it's been a gruelling match for both of them. And the standard has never fallen short of excellent. On the line again.
15-30.
Well, Chris Evert expecting them, hoping the ball would drop out. Landed plumb on the line.
All.
It's out.
40-30.
Disappointed about that, and there was no way that Chris Evert Lloyd was going to reach the ball had it been in. Point for 4-all. Yes, it is.
Game, Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Four games all, final set.
Well, it couldn't be closer than that, could it? 7-5 to Evert Lloyd, that rather. 7-5 to Navratilova, and now 4 games all, and the issue absolutely open.
Love. All.
Well, almost improvising a half volley there, caught absolutely at her feet. 4-all final set, 15-all.
$30-15. All.
Well, they're certainly earning their money this afternoon, and they are richly rewarded here. The winner will take £10,000. The loser half as much, 30-all. Oh, that was an absolutely brilliant return. Took all the pace off the serve.
30-40.
So a chance here that Evert has worked so hard for.
Let. First service. Deuce.
A very tense-looking John Lloyd.
Advantage Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
Chastising herself there. Hit them. Chicken, she said. Well, it wasn't a bad return on the quiet. Another break point.
Game, Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Mrs. Evert Lloyd leads by 5 games to 4 in the final set.
And there hardly seemed room for that passing shot down the line, and yet the tiny gap was enough. And at last, Chris Evert Lloyd has hauled herself into the lead. At the beginning of this match, there were 4 consecutive service breaks. Navratilova was broken again in the 11th game to give Evert the set 7-5. Navratilova led 5-1 in the second, was caught at 5-all, broke again in the 12th game to take the set 7-5. They'd been at it 1 hour and 28 minutes. And now, well over 2 hours they've been on court, and she has made what could well be the final and decisive break of serve in this match.
It's such a tight, close match that I think it's a little optimistic for Chris, and I'm sure she's not thinking too positively at the moment that that will be the final break. She's still got to hold her serve for the match, and that, I think, is the most difficult game to play in tennis. I feel that her return of serve in the last game was superb. She dipped the ball at Martina's feet, making Martina play either half volley or volley the ball up, setting herself up for these beautiful passing shots, which she was able to accomplish.
So serving now for the match. Chris Evert Lloyd 5-4.
Love.
That confidence coming from a recent victory in the French Championships, her third.
All.
The textbook says keep the ball deep, keep your opponent on the baseline, and that ball practically hit the baseline.
Net. First service. 30-15. All.
Would have been a good volley anyway, aided by the contact with the top of the net. 30 all. It's long. Well.
30-40.
There was the chance. The chance to take herself to match point. And now here she is, break point down.
5 games all. Final set.
Well, I wonder what's going through the mind of John Lloyd sitting there watching the agony on court. My goodness, I suppose when you think about it, this was the only way the match could end, with yet another break of serve. New balls, 5-all.
Love. Love.
Well, we don't often see Chris Evert Lloyd making a sortie to the net, but she can volley, as we saw.
All.
Well, that was an absolutely classic return of serve, because Navratilova was even fast into the net and still caught. 30-all.
Game to Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 6 games to 5 in the final set.
And if Chris Evert Lloyd should lose today, having been 5-4 and serving at one stage just now, I think the shot she'll remember, Anne Jones, was that forehand she missed at 30-all with the court at her mercy and Navratilova close to the net. The passing shot was on.
The passing shot, John, was definitely on, but I'm not sure that Chris totally realised that the court was open. From Martina, who was standing at the net, she has to select one side or the other. Martina moved to her own forehand side, and the ball went down past Martina's backhand. But Chris, when she's playing a passing shot, especially under those circumstances, is going to keep her head down and her eye on the ball. It's just unfortunate, I think, that she lifted her shoulders at the last minute and just lofted it over the baseline. But Martina, with the new balls in that last game, certainly varied the spin on her serve a lot and held it comfortably. Only the second time she's held her serve in this final set to give her.
No tie-break, of course, at a final set here. It's 5-6. Lloyd serving.
Love. All.
Saw the short serve so early.
15-40.
Those two errors have provided Martina Navratilova with 2 match points. Still match point. Oh, what depth again. And what courage.
Deuce.
Well, courage and skill of the highest order here, we're seeing. 2 match points saved, and it's 6-all. On the line again. 15-love. Love. That was a marvellous deep serve again, swinging away to the backhand.
Love.
No, it's out.
Game finishes Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 7 games to 6 in the final set.
Well, we were speculating earlier about who might win this match and whether it would have any effects on the Wimbledon Championships, which begin, of course, on Monday. And the last 2 occasions that Evert Lloyd has won here, in 1974 and 76, she went on to win the title at Wimbledon. Martina Navratilova last year won here in an absolute classic. Certainly no better than we're seeing today, and then herself won Wimbledon. I wonder, Anne Jones, if history will repeat itself yet again.
Well, such a hypothetical question just at this point. I suppose one feels that the winner here has so much confidence to carry on into Wimbledon, but these things have a habit of changing when the added tension from the championships is brought to bear. Martina has held her serve comparatively easily in the last twice she served out. It gives her a breather. Gives her a breather to attack Chris's serve. 6-7. Mrs. Lloyd serving.
Love. 15 all.
Oh,
15-30.
it looked as if it might have just clipped the line from where we're sitting, but it was out. 15-30.
Thirty all.
Well, that was a very ambitious return of serve because, in fact, it was quite a good deep serve. But it wouldn't have come back had it been in. 30 all.
The ball was out, the linesman was unsighted.
And Martina Navratilova knew that it was out. George Armstrong merely stating the obvious.
40-30.
40-30.
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Seven games all, final set.
And it would be a brave man now who would suggest the likely winner. 7 all.
$15 love. $30 love.
Everett shot there to Navratilova, really slightly mishit, but made it so awkward, and it was such a good half volley. 30 love.
$30-15.
She must feel she's been on the wreck this afternoon. She's had to stretch so much. Don't believe it.
$30 all.
That was a sensational pass.
$40-30. Game to Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 8-7 in the final set.
And the last 5 service games have all been held. There it is. Tells you how close this match has been. 7-5 to Chris Lloyd, 7-5 to Navratilova. And now 8-7 to Navratilova. How they have sustained the quality of this play, Anne Jones, I just don't know.
It's quite incredible, actually, how much strength you can produce when the crunch arrives in these situations. You somehow just keep going because the match is still there to be played, and of course the adrenaline flowing keeps you going as well. It's settled down into a pattern now of the players, both of them, holding serve quite comparatively comfortably. Martina serving first, I think, has the slight advantage here because she can sit there 8-7 with the lead behind her and think hard about varying her tactics for this particular game to try and break Chris Evert's service and take the match.
So competitive as this final set been, there have been 4 breaks of serve each way. Can Chris Evert Lloyd hold now? 7-8.
Love. Love. Love.
Well, she's been very effective with that shot when she's run round the backhand, gone right out into the tram lines to hit a forehand reply. Missed by a whisker that time. 40 love. Oh, it's marvellous play.
40-15.
How they can maintain this level after 2.5 hours it is now. Remarkable.
Well,
she's twice got in behind good approaches. Still game point for 8-all. Oh, that is a classic pass. And that says it all.
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd, 8 games all. Final set.
Staggering with relief, I think, managing a little smile.
Quiet, please.
Well, nobody of the 4,000 watching wants it to end. It's 8-all.
Love 15. All. 15-30.
And it was a very much firmer forehand. George Armstrong getting caught up in the excitement of it all. Of course, it's 30-15.
$40-15. $40-30.
That one straight out of the memory bank. Oh, there's no answer, is there?
Mr. Navratilova leads by 9 games to 8 in the final set.
So we've now seen a sequence of 7 rather. I miscounted, it's 7 games held on service. And Martina Navratilova must be very glad that she opened this set on her service, because it is such an advantage to be the odd game ahead at this stage of a close match.
It's strange, John, I think, that this match now has developed into such a classic struggle that the tactics seem to have gotten a little lost in the excitement of it all. But when Chris really needs a point, she plugs that backhand of Martina's to death. Poor Martina is pinned in that backhand corner, playing slice after slice. But if Chris then tries for the wide forehand to make Martina stretch, if it's short, then Martina has that extra little zip and the topspin too of the left-hander, which changes the pace and changes the rhythm of it. But if the ball is deep and wide, as Chris is very capable of doing, then Martina is really stretching for that forehand.
This famous arena has seen some historic matches, but I don't suppose they've seen any better tennis than we're seeing today. 8-9. I don't think she hurt herself.
15 love.
Still a bit of sap on the grass, just wide of the playing area, and it was there that she slipped. She's all right. Very sensibly, just taking her time. 15 love. Well, that's the first double fault, believe it or not, that Chris Evert Lloyd has served, and Martina hasn't served one at all. Yes.
15-30.
Martina remembering her tactics this time. A firmer forehand, opening the court for that beautifully executed drop. 15-30.
All.
An inch, yes, that's all it was.
30-40.
Well, and that drop and cross-court pass brings Martina Navratilova to her third match point.
Deuce.
And you could not ask for a finer example of the supreme art of lawn tennis than that rally at match point. It's deuce.
Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
Trying for just a little more power there. Made the error.
Deuce.
Well, the gods must be smiling on her. Back at deuce. Oh, well.
Advantage, Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
I wonder if he's as cool inside. Oh, well.
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd, 9 games all, final set.
The game that had everything. 9-all.
5, please. (15-love).
They've been on court for 2 hours and 42 minutes, and it's now that all the years of preparation, all the practice, the training, are paying off.
(15-all).
She's hit so many of those in practice, it's just instinctive now.
(30-15).
Cruel luck there for Chris Evert Lloyd, but only the third erratic bounce we've seen today.
40-15. Game to Miss Navratilova. 3 balls, please. Miss Navratilova leads by 10 games to 9 in the final set.
Well, Navratilova just coming ever so slowly back to her chair, almost exhausted. 2 hours and 45 minutes they've been at it. And Jones, what is it that goes through a player's mind, Chris Evert's mind, when every changeover she's just that odd game behind and time must be running out?
Well, fortunately there isn't a clock on the court, so they can't look round and see how long precisely they've been out there battling. They know by the score they've been out there a long time, and when you're the odd game down every changeover, it is very, very hard on your own delivery, especially for someone like Chris Evert, because she doesn't have a great serve. It's consistent and usually it's deep. She knows her second service is a little short, so she has to concentrate very hard on getting that first service in. And of course, if she fails to do that, then she tends to hand the initiative over to her opponent.
One minute, ladies, please.
So it's time for a new set of balls. They're changing every 7 and 9. 9-10, final set.
Love.
And equally frustrating for Martina Navratilova every time she's ahead, her opponent playing great tennis. Well, half a smile from John Lloyd. And Chris Evert, Lloyd finishing absolutely on the canvas at the side of the court. 30 love. And after that, not surprising
40 love.
that Martina Navratilova makes it a mess of that return.
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd.
One young lady who's living every point. Tracy Austin there on the left of the
10
picture.
games all, final set.
Seeded 4 at Wimbledon next week. Forced to default yesterday to Martina Navratilova because of that groin strain.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Back on level terms, 10 all.
15 love.
Quite a distinct drop in the temperature. The sun's disappeared. Perfect playing conditions for tennis. Hardly a breeze. Beautiful court. Packed stadium.
Thirty love.
Yes, it was in.
40 love.
A nod of acknowledgement from Chris Evert.
Game to Miss Navratilova. Miss Navratilova leads by 11 games to 10 in the final set.
Well, Navratilova has absolutely been superb on her own service game. She's never lost more than 2 points on it since they were 5 games all in this set. Now she's leading 11-10. That will put tremendous pressure on Chris Evert Lloyd.
I think too, John, there was a little sign of impatience towards the end of that game from Chris. It's unusual for her not to really want to return the service, but she was, I suppose, love 40 down. She felt that perhaps it wasn't quite worth the battle, but she didn't really make any effort to get behind the ball or to play the shot. And she must be, by now, surely, both of them indeed, getting tired.
Of course, from Chris Evert Lloyd's point of view, what she really needs is to win one of the first 2 points in the Navratilova service game, and it's something she's failed to do.
She will too really need to concentrate hard on the first point of her own service game. She's managed to win it each time over the defence of the break, but there must come a time when Martina presses a little harder.
Well, this packed crowd here, over 4,000 of them, certainly had their money's worth this afternoon. They are watching an absolute classic. So the scoreboard's having problems with the numbers there as the score mounts. It's 10-11.
$15 love.
Now she'd love to stay there.
30 love.
Utterly draining on the mental and physical reserves, this, of both girls. 10-11, 30 love.
$30-15.
Well, despite that marvellous smash, Chris Evert Lloyd nearly picked it up, dashing beneath our cameras here across the baseline. 30-15.
40-15.
Well, the match is going to be won by the girl who first cracks, and there's no sign of it yet.
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. "11 games all, final set."
How secure is the Wimbledon? How secure is the Wimbledon champion, I wonder? Will she be the first to crack?
Quiet, please.
It's 11 all.
Love 15. Fifteen all.
Well, that's our first double fault.
15-30.
Amazing it may seem, they've been on court almost 3 hours and they've just served one double fault each. That could be costly. I don't believe that angle exists.
15-40.
But it did. It's 15-40.
$30-40.
Oh!
Game to Mrs. Evert Lloyd. Mrs. Evert Lloyd leads by 12 games to 11 in the final set.
And that's the first time that Chris Evert Lloyd has been ahead in this set. Martina has been having the odd game lead by virtue of having opened the set on her serve, but this is the first time that Evert Lloyd has been ahead since she was 5-4, all those games ago.
And Chris, I think, played that superb cross-court forehand pass, but she did, I think, receive quite a little bit of help from Martina in that game. The double fault, as John rightly said, was costly, and also she took her eye off that very difficult indeed low volley. Just took her eye off it and caught the ball on the throat and stabbed it into the floor. But it's been such a match of such high quality that it bound in the end through sheer tiredness and loss of concentration to be the odd mistake creeping in at the end.
1 minute, ladies, please.
Well, they've been on court now 2 minutes short of 3 hours, and the last time Chris Evert served for this match was at 5-4, and she lost her serve then.
15 love.
Well, she's been over once or twice this week like that, in the sappy part of the court. 15 love. Oh, a perfect love.
Love.
The sign of a champion reserving her
40 love.
her best serve to bring up 3 match points.
Game, set,
She's done it!
to Miss Evert Lloyd.
Well, a standing ovation here. Devonshire Park, Eastbourne, on this beautiful centre court for one of the finest tennis matches that this historic arena has ever seen. Just 3 hours and 5 seconds it took for Chris Evert
Match
Lloyd.
to Mrs. Evert Lloyd, 7-5, 5-7, 13-11.
George Armstrong there confirming the score. Just over 3 hours. And remember, the last time that Chris Evert Lloyd won down here, it was in 1976. She went on to win at Wimbledon. And I'm sure that if we are lucky enough to see these two in the final at Wimbledon in 2 weeks' time, we could not expect a better match than that. I think we have to say a word for Martina Navratilova, who came storming through in the second set to win it 7-5. They'd been on court then 1 hour and 28 minutes. Navratilova had led in that set 5-1. She was caught at 5-all, steadied herself and broke in the 12th to win it 7-5. And then this epic final set, when first Chris Evert Lloyd, after several breaks of serve, served for the match at 5-4, was broken to 30, and then we had to go all the way until she was leading 12-11. That was the break that gave her the chance to serve for the match. And how well she took it, including an ace with a love game.